We're joined by Carmen.
There she is.
How do you do? Carmen Harra, the world-renowned intuitive psychologist, relationship expert, best-selling author, radio show host, and TV personality. And we welcome her among us via the miracle of teleconferencing. How do you do tonight?
Me, I'm doing great.
Oh, good. We're good to have you here.
Turn her up a little bit. Listen, we're very excited to have you. We have a lot of questions about...
Okay, fabulous. I'm waiting.
Okay, so wait, Max, got to turn her up a little bit. Talk again. Say one, two.
Can you hear me?
Louder.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. No. He, our tech guy has you. Okay. So that's the first question. Okay. So you are both a trained psychologist and a psychic.
No, I'm intuitive. It's an ability of the brain to transcend, to bridge the two levels of the brain, the left hemisphere with the right. So, there is there are two glands on the top of the head that can connect the two hemispheres. Is the cognitive mind. You operate on the cognitive mind right now.
Yes.
And there's the subconscious mind. So if you bridge the two levels, then you use something that is called intuition. It's an ability of the brain that everybody has. And some people call themselves psychics, but they don't know exactly why they call themselves psychics. And I'm giving you the sort of medical explanation why, it's possible to connect and be more intuitive if you want to be. It's your decision.
So you're not a psych. You don't believe in like supernatural powers?
No, I do believe in supernatural. Since the dawn of time, we believe in the supernatural. And I do believe that there's divine and that there's a way to connect with a force beyond the cognitive. So there is a divine energy that exists within ourselves, actually.
So, okay. So let me, Periel, what's the matter with you? All right, listen. So I'm very interested in this stuff. And first I'll be honest, put my cards on the table. Well, you probably know this. I'm skeptical of
Fabulous. I'm skeptical too. So
yeah, but that's fine. But I respect. So, and also you're a trained psychologist.
Yes,
so,
I have a degree in clinical psych. I studied medicine at Cornell, and now I'm a student at Harvard. So I'm studying medicine at Harvard too right now.
Harvard, Harvard.
Harvard
Yeah.
Medical.
Yeah. So that's fascinating too. All right. So let's take. So
I'm fascinated with medicine because I do believe that we should know more about how to treat ourselves beyond the system,
and
billion-dollar system.
And you believe in numerology. So this is what I want to know.
I believe in numerology because it makes sense, it's the timing of our life. And, you cannot see the world without numbers. Everything connects with a form of energy that is translated in a number. I've studied numerology 30 years ago in New York with a Harvard professor, with a mathematician, and he made me really believe in the power of numbers as defining, our life in many respects.
So let's talk about a little bit how this all comes together in our lives and what we can learn from that. So let's just take something that everybody has in common. Many people, I'm married. So first question would be in my mind, and feel free to jump in, guys. Does it matter the date that I get married? Does numerology matter? Because I know some Chinese traditions, it does.
Everything matters when it comes to the time. Everything matters. So it depends which day you get married. It depends which personal year you get married. It depends which pinnacle in your life you get married. It also depends what kind of an archetype you have and what kind of an archetype your wife has.
So what are archetypes?
Are you really a match?
Tell us what archetypes are. Well, first, what's that? Hold on, one step at a time. So maybe you can start with archetypes. We'll get back to the dates, because there's a day we get married. There's a date of our birthdays. There's a lot of dates, right?
But archetypes are defined by numbers, but also archetypes. It's a term in psychology introduced by Carl Jung. Carl Jung was inspired by Plato, the same time when Pythagoras created the Western numerology that is the foundation of the bank accounts today, so the foundation of numbers. But by the same time, 2,500 years ago, two Greek philosophers, on one side was Pythagoras, on the other side Plato. They both defined this concept, and I tried to put it together.
So when you say Pythagoras, you mean we call it Pythagoras. That's what you're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Pythagoras.
Go ahead.
Pythagoras in the Greek, the way you pronounce it, would be Pythagoras. I mean, it depends on the accent.
No, I'm not correcting the pronunciation. I just wanted to make sure I understood what you were.
What matters for the people listening is that Plato created a theory of forms, and Carl Jung, the student of Freud, developed the concept of a form into the human archetypes. A human archetype defines who you are, defines your personality trait, your capacity to love, your weaknesses, your strength. Everything about who you are is defined in your human archetype. Now, the question is, are you a match with your wife who has a specific archetype, maybe very different than yours? It may or may not be energetically a match, and that explains that out of the 100 marriages, 50, more than 50 end up in a divorce.
Well, my wife's Puerto Rican, so you could probably predict her archetype.
But it has something to do. She must be beautiful. Puerto Rican women are gorgeous.
They tend to an archetype. So how do we analyze our own archetypes? And give us some examples of some archetypes.
For instance, if you're a number one, let's say people don't understand how you are a number one. You take the month you born, the day you born, the year you born, reduce everything to a single digit, and let's say you come up to number one. You're number one, you're a very independent. You have a hard time committing to somebody. You go to numerous divorces. Larry King, the famous Larry King, he was married 7 times. He was a number one.
Wait, how do you reduce it? What do you mean reduce it to a single digit? How do you do that?
So you add up. Like I'm born March 25th. So 2 plus 5 is a 7. I'm March is a 3. 3 plus 2, 5, which is a 7. 3 plus 7 is a 1. 0 doesn't exist in numerology. 0 is a multiplier.
Wait, the year
and
doesn't.
You add the 1 to the year when I'm born, and the year is reduced to a single digit. So let's you're born in 1960. 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 0, who doesn't exist, we equal a 7. And 7 plus 1 is an 8. So that it means you're a number 8. If you're number 8, you're a workaholic. 8 is money. 2024 is money because 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8. 8. This year is the year of revolution, the year of restitution, the year of earthquakes, the year of Republicans taking over the Democrats. Is a year that brings a lot of stuff because it's a number year that has a lot to do with money. So I'm just giving you an example in which way a number addressed to the year you are in has a lot to do with everything that's happening in the world right now. So even the fact that 2, 0, 2, and 4 is a feminine number has to do with Trump running against Haley and not to a man. So the fight between the man and the woman has a lot to do with 2024. On top of it, Trump losing in front of a woman in court has a lot to do with 2024 because it's a feminine year.
Now, here's a question. This is a skeptical question. There was a time on planet Earth when people used a different calendar. And the numbers.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Did the numerology, like if let's say they're using the Jewish calendar, would it be the Jewish numbers they added up to? Or was it always the Roman calendar, but they didn't know what the numerology was?
But I don't know if, you know what I mean? You go back to the ancient Kabbalah, that's a different story. I'm only analyzing from the point of view of the Greeks. I'm only the different numerology, the Chaldean numerology, the Vedic numerology. So we're going into different systems of calculating time. I'm applying to the Western numerology. I'm not talking about the ancient teaching of Kabbalah, but Kabbalah is the essence of everything. I'm a very convinced Jewish woman, you know what I mean? Who I believe in Kabbalah.
You're a Jewish woman?
Yes.
But you're not born. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Romania, but there are a lot of Jews in Romania. And there are, you know what I mean? We are very...
You're born Jewish in Romania or you're converted to Judaism?
No, I converted to Judaism. My husband was from Israel. Yeah.
I see. So when you're doing therapy, let's say couples therapy, if 2 people come in and you get their numbers and you're like, oh, no, this should have never happened. Do you say save your money, your number, just get divorced?
I used to do couple therapy in New York, and I met Jennifer Lopez in 2003, and she was involved with P. Diddy. And I told her, you're a 3, he's a 4. Forget about it. Run away from him with the speed of light because something bad is going to happen. And that's exactly what happened between Jennifer and P. Diddy. Then I was the one telling her 20 years ago that her husband now is actually the real soulmate because they are a match. She's a 3, he's a 6. That works. They work together. So you have to understand what works and what doesn't in the energy field, and has nothing to do with Western numerology, Chaldean numerology. It has a lot to do with the energy we are born of, you know?
Years ago, this is a funny story. Years ago when I used to be a musician, Mark Anthony, I don't know when he was with Jennifer Lopez at the time, and he came down to the Cafe Wa, and we were all hanging out. Me and some musicians were hanging out in front with him, and it's great. And then the phone rings, and it was Jennifer Lopez on the phone, and he's like, "Oh God," like Jennifer Lopez. He's like, and he's like, "Yeah, honey, I'm with the guys," like just bullshitting her, like any dude with any number 3 that she must have been a number 3.
But I'm gonna tell you, he's a 5. So Mark Anthony is a 5. She was a 3.
Oh, you don't have to tell me.
3 and 5 are transition. That's not gonna last.
Yeah.
Well. So I had somebody from Us Weekly after she got married to Mark Anthony. And I said, no way this is going to work. It might work for a period of time. It lasted 7 years. And it fall apart because 3 and 5 are not going to be a match in time, just temporary. It's a transitory relationship,
Now, can I
go ahead.
Just clarify how this is calculated? So the numbers in my birthday add up to 18. So does that mean I just add the 8 and the 1 and get 9? Is that how that
18. A 1 plus 8 is a 9. So you're a number 9.
So I'm a 9, yes.
So humanitarian.
I'm a humanitarian.
Good. Yeah, you like to help the world. People don't really understand you because you're very deep. In a way, you can be an introvert. I don't know if you see that about yourself. You have a hard time. You hide things about yourself, but you love to do good.
Well, I hide a lot of stuff, but I do hide. But I certainly hide some stuff. We were talking about a threesome I had in Aruba a few weeks ago. But I didn't hide that. But I'm
a 6.
Yeah,
the 6. I love the 6. The 6 is the hopeless romantic.
That's Noam, all right.
These are the people that are the love of the world,
Wait, how do you do this?
Oh, we got to figure that out. So let me ask you some more questions. So now what else can you tell us from this? Can you do you have any insight into who's going to win the election by the numerology?
Well, this year is the year of surprises. This year, everything we expect is going to happen completely opposite. What I know for sure the Democrats are going to lose this election. That I know for sure. But I'm not convinced that Trump will be our president. So I don't know what's going to happen here because the way it looks like it's going to be Trump against Biden. And it's obvious that Biden is going to lose. The problem is Trump going to be our president? The answer is no. So then what's going to happen? The unexpected. This is the year that's going to surprise us, starting with the month of March. With everything we cannot even imagine. It's beyond our imagination. That's why it's called a karmic year. This year brings back everything that could have happened in time. Like this year is the year of the dragon and it's the year of karma. So it means repetition of the things that happened. If we go back in 1952 was a karmic year and was the year of the dragon. And you guys, do you remember what happened in 52? What was the major element of 1952? Putin was born. Queen Elizabeth became queen. The Republicans took over the Democrats. The biggest earthquake took place in California. We discovered the atomic bomb. So events like 52 are brought back in this year, shaking humanity. So things that we can watch and see what's going to happen in Russia in March. Watch and see what's going to happen through the course of the year that totally will blow my mind. Plus, this is the year when people are going to march in the street and express their dissatisfaction, their pain. It's like the year of revolution and justice. This is to define 2024.
Not to be, but it wasn't the atomic bomb, or maybe the high. How did it work? Was there a hydrogen?
Hydrogen bomb. Yeah.
All right. So
right.
Now. All right, so Trump's not going to be president. I think we made news here tonight. Trump is not going to be president,
but it's not going to be Biden
and it won't be
either.
Biden either.
Disappoint a lot of people who love Trump, but expect the unexpected. I don't even think Trump wants to be president, to tell you the truth. It might look like this.
I know what he wants.
Know what's happening within Trump.
He doesn't want to be president. He wants the satisfaction
Got it. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Of winning after they changed it. So now what did all this tell you about COVID? Were you expecting COVID? What kind of insight did you have into COVID about? Do you think COVID was a natural phenomenon? Do you think it was created by man-made? What do you
Man-made. I mean, a lot is man-made. Money is man-made. COVID is man-made. Illnesses are man-made. Suffering is man-made. Banking system is man-made. Everything is man-made at a deeper, very, how should I say, we don't really bring the divine within this world. That's why this world is in so much anger, trouble, conflict and war.
But you mean man-made in a laboratory?
Yeah, man-made in a laboratory, 100%. 100%.
And what would you say?
This will be revealed that this is man-made, will come to the surface.
Probably by people who were years of the dragon?
Maybe
China. But anyway, so okay. So you believe COVID was man-made, and that's based on what your insight into karma. I'm interested. Like, how does explain the thinking that brought you to the conclusion that COVID was man-made? It's not something you read in the New York Times.
COVID is a karmic disease. Diseases that are karmic are diseases that come back. If you go back 100 years ago, there was another, big, what was the
flu,
Spanish
1918, yeah.
Spanish flu.
So events keep on repeating karmically around 100 years. Watch and see what's going to happen in 2029, going back to 1929 the crash happened. So we rapidly go towards the collapse of the monetary system, in which we will eliminate the cash and will only have the electronic monetary system in the years ahead. The fall of the bank is, I said all of this in my first book 25 years ago. I talk about the collapse of the banking system. All the problem we're facing today, I actually mentioned in my first book.
So you are heavily invested in Bitcoin then, I would imagine?
I will not invest in Bitcoin because that's also something that is not going to work. There's like a system that is going to be put in place in the next 2-3 years that is not yet established.
All right. So now tell us, karma is something that we all think about a lot. We'd like to think that if we do good things, that good things will happen to us. I guess we rationalize if bad things happen to us, maybe like something bad. If bad things happen, when bad things happen to me, I assume that my wife has bad karma, and this is the way God's gonna get even with her. But I'm just like a tool. But can we judge based on our own good or bad luck whether we've been good or bad people? Is that a good?
No. Karma is a very complex concept. It's the totality of your action, of your thoughts, of your intention.
Thoughts, even your thoughts.
But there's personal karma, there's family karma, the family you're born into. Sometimes, you carry the family karma on your shoulder and you see a lot of bad stuff happening to you, but you're a good person. You did nothing wrong. But that karma will manifest. Karma also calcified into your physical, into your body. So diseases are karmic. Karma also means repetition. It's way more a complex process than the Newtonian concept of what goes around comes around. So not only, I did a lot of good stuff and yet bad is continuing happening to us. Look at humanity, the karma of mankind. Whatever mankind has created for thousands of years has a payback now. So we pay, because you used to say the karma is the law of restitution. And 2024 is the year of restitution and the year of justice. And probably by the end of the year, people will understand what I'm really talking about. You may not get it right away, but this year will reveal what karma means terms of repeating things that happen already.
Can I ask one question so I know the answer to this before, because it matters? Do you believe in the concept of a soul? In other words, because what I was thinking, and then I want to get to Dan, children die young. And what you're saying is sounds very unjust, that somehow his family or somehow he's suffering, the child that dies young, it gets cancer or something, is suffering for the karma of other people. But maybe his soul is going to pass on to a happier existence more quickly. So maybe it's not so terrible as it seems to us. So do you believe in the concept of an afterlife and a permanent life of the soul?
Absolutely. I believe in afterlife. And I also believe that if you leave this earth and go in a higher dimension and you left things unresolved, you might be tempted to come back because we are a form of energy. And Einstein used to say energy never dies. So you can come back in the flesh and finish the business you never finished. So, and also believe that your numerology will tell you how long you live. So on your numerology is a very clear indication how many years you're going to spend on earth. And it also shows you when do you have a point in your destiny when it's most likely that you're going to exit this world. So it's fascinating to understand numerology and know how you will go through your life and when is the moment when you need to be careful of something happening to you and how can you, if there's any way to prevent things from happening. So that's why I promote this science, because it's a science and it's interesting for people to get much more out of it. Most likely finding out your longevity. I think to me it's interesting to know how long you're going to be on Earth.
Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I just wanted to know if you'd be willing to come back at the end of the year
Yes,
to discuss
absolutely.
what you had.
Actually come back sooner on your show. Watch and see.
Well, we'd like to, after the election, you had some interesting predictions about the election, so we might want to have you back to recap.
Yes, I would love that.
Now,
And I'm very grateful for you having me, guys. I'm very grateful.
we're enjoying this. I want to ask, of course, we don't let anybody off the show now without asking about the Arab-Israeli conflict and what insights does your expertise bring to that conflict?
Do you see what karma means? You just look at the Middle East conflict, which I predicted on Fox 25 years ago on a TV show. I said that's actually the beginning, of the so-called Third World War. So this is where the danger is, for the world to expand war. And this is another thing that is very concerning for humanity. And what's happening here goes back to a fight that exists for thousands of years. That part of the world originated war. War goes back to the Middle East. That's what war was created originally. And Earth has karma, and something that happened in a specific time of the Earth will repeat again. Like First World War happened one place, second one in the same place. So when things keep on repeating, but there's a danger with the war over. There's a danger that this war will expand and become something bigger. I don't want to give bad news to everybody. Let's just pray that that's not going to happen,
Now, I mean, this doesn't sound good for the Jews, does it? I mean, a lot of bad things keep happening to us.
Yeah, I don't know why it's happening to us because we such good people and we don't deserve it.
According to you.
I by the Jews, and I really want the Jews to be fine, and I think they will be.
Oh, that's good.
I want everybody to be fine, but I'm not following
Yeah,
it.
I want everybody to be fine. I agree with you.
But
Probably I did something wrong. I apologize.
it doesn't seem good, or Carmen doesn't seem good. Okay, Periel, you have some questions?
I actually, hi. Hi. I was actually really interested in what you had to say about Israel, but you already asked her. And also, I think it's interesting that you're from Romania and your husband was Israeli.
Yes.
All right, so
I in New York,
Mhm.
actually.
You
We
what?
came to Israel and moved to New York.
You lived in New York.
Sorry, New York.
move to. So before we go, I brought up your website here, and there's a lot
She
of
has a new book out, by the way. She wants to.
What's the name of the new book?
The new book is called +1, The Numerology of Relationship.
Okay. So it's related to this. So on the website, you have lots of videos here. I didn't watch them, but I'm looking at the names of them. But the website is chock full. So everybody should go to her website, CarmenHarra.com, CarmenHarra.com. So a little bit here. You go signs of a toxic relationship. What are the signs of a toxic relationship?
When there's toxic relationships are really dangerous, in my opinion, because people argue so much. There's so much bickering. There's so much disagreement. And there are relationships that are toxic all the way from the beginning. and you look like Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. That was a toxic relationship. And there's no way to fix it. You just have to run away with the speed of light, because it ends up very bad. It becomes aggressive, abusive, and nobody should stay in a toxic relationship. If you feel that you guys, you cannot reach common ground, and you cannot act, with compassion and love and in alignment and agreement with each other, then put an end to it. There's no way of staying in a toxic relationship.
Don't get therapy. Just put an end to it.
No, put an end to it. The therapy will not do it.
I'm with you, by the way. I'm happy to hear a therapist is skeptical of the therapy, because
she's skeptical of therapy for couples, not therapy in general.
Yeah, well, I did couple therapy. And whenever I saw a toxic relationship, I told you guys, don't take up my time. Go away, separate ways.
When is therapy the most effective?
Is effective in many cases. For instance, we were talking about losing somebody, young. If you lost a child, if you were betrayal, if you depress, there's so many cases. We can talk for hours when therapy is efficient and productive and can change your mindset, because it's important to switch, those addictive emotion of negativity, of sadness, of hate, of anger that are dominating people sometimes. And therapy is influential in changing that.
What do you feel about medications?
I've studied a lot lately medicine, and as I'm going to Cornell, I'm studying at Harvard. I'm studying, the impact on medication, and I'm a firm believer that there are things that can be done naturally, so that you don't depend of serotonin receptors when you can take a Travacor. Travacor is developed by science, and is something natural that can made of GABA and made of taurine, and that can boost the neurotransmitters in the brain and create balance within those catecholamines. So immediately, depression can be alleviated. You sleep better, you feel better, you envision the world as a better place. So you are in harmony with your mind.
All right. Well, listen, I don't claim to have telepathy, but I get a vibe from you, honestly, that you are a very happy and warm person, and a pleasure to meet. And I would like very much to meet you in person. I don't think I'm a believer in all the mumbo jumbo, and also it would depress me to think that we are so much hostages to being born at 11:55 or 12:05 a.m. This seems quite unfair in the course of the universe.
I don't believe we're hostages to that, but I do believe we're hostages.
Because you believe there's no free will.
Well, yes, I don't believe in free will.
Yeah.
So
you don't believe in free will, or you do believe?
I do not. I do not believe in it.
You don't believe in free will?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has a Newtonian.
Well, I don't know how one logically could believe in free will, but do you, Noam?
But you have the free will to like me, or the free will to dislike me.
Well, I don't know that I do. My brain is telling me. Look, I learned
not dislikable. Go ahead.
I learned about free will one time when I smoked too much marijuana, and became so.
You're a number 9.
Well, guilty as charged. No, but I'm not. But
so that doesn't surprise me. If I look from the spiritual perspective about your divine codification, everything you say makes sense and is in alignment with who you are, numerologically speaking. But you have a specific archetype, and the archetype that you have is fabulous, because you're a very well-rounded individual. You're very loving, caring. Besides its appearance, you know what I mean? You have a good heart. You have a good heart.
But the point I wanted to make about marijuana is I became so paranoid, and I realized my brain, I don't control my brain. My brain is an organ that does what it's going to do.
Yeah, that I agree.
And it decided that I was going to think the cops were coming, and that's what I thought.
Yeah, I agree with that. But and yet, taking marijuana is a form of addiction, and has a lot to do with your neurons in the brain forming an alliance and a dependency.
Well, but I'm not a regular user.
The world today, the addiction. We are in a world that is very addicted to many things, to substances, to emotion, to behavior, pattern of behavior. So if you can break through the addiction of the world, we can bring normality and harmony in this universe and in our world and in the world overall.
All right. Well, I'm not a regular user, but I do chew gum quite a bit.
Marijuana gum?
No, just Trident bubble gum.
All right. Well, anyway, so we're going to let you go, Dr. Harra. Harra or Harra? How do you pronounce it? Harra. So, but we learned that Trump will not be president. Someone else will be. It won't be Biden. And we should short the stock market in 2029.
And Bitcoin is to be avoided.
Bitcoin's to be avoided. Stay clear of number ones.
Depends what your number is.
Oh, I don't think you can say it.
Oh, well, if you want to know, does your book give us the details of which numbers?
Yeah, it details everything. It defines every human archetype based on this energetic way of expressing yourself through the numbers. So in other words, every number is associated with a human archetype. And you cannot deny the human archetypes. They exist in psychology.
Oh,
they're
wait.
branch of psychology.
Before you go, just yay or nay. Horoscope.
Yeah, I believe in horoscope.
Tarot cards.
No, I'm not a tarot cards. Tarot cards come from the tarot, from the thorax. So but I don't necessarily.
What do you think about a number?
Wait.
Sorry.
Bumps on the forehead.
No.
No. Tea leaves.
No.
Palms. Palm reading.
To a certain degree, yeah.
Fortune cookies.
No.
No. Okay.
I just wanted to ask you: are number fives generally known to be authoritarian types?
They are free spirits. They don't like to attach. Number 5 doesn't like to attach.
Well, Hitler never had a girlfriend, so
the creation in the ancient teaching of Kabbalah.
Like he did have Eva Braun, but
Doctor, I don't know if you could hear because of the thing. Hitler was the number 5. Dan tells us.
Who was
Hitler? You've heard of him.
Hitler? If he was the number 5, that's why he died the way he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. He was a free spirit.
He was
all right.
Well, he was, I guess.
Well, all about, you know what I mean? There are major archetypes and recessive archetypes. He must have been not only a free spirit because he was such a monster, so there were many other things that define him. You can't just simply say because he was that number that describes him.
I watched on YouTube just a Hitler speech the other day. Have you ever done it?
No, I've heard him. I mean, he's a fairly good speaker.
He spoke for a long time. The speech was like an hour and a half. I think I watched almost 40 minutes of it. He took his time. He did not have one or I'm presuming he was reading it, but it was almost memorized. He didn't misspeak one time. He didn't stutter. He started very calm. And then he built into this crescendo. I mean, it was quite a performance, just as to try to understand how this guy was so powerful. I'm sure there are many other elements that allowed that, but one had to admit that was. I had no idea. I'd never really listened to a Hitler speech that way. Anyway, I mean, you listen to Barack Obama or any normal politician, they misspeak, or Joe Biden, but any of them. I mean, this guy, I've never heard anything like it. All right. Anyway, but that's how 5s are. Anyway, Doctor, we really was honestly a pleasure to meet you. I'd love to meet you again. Any last words, or was I going to let you go?
So the pleasure is mine.
Thank
you guys are fantastic and you're phenomenal. I wish to know much more about you by you giving me your birthday.
I'll give me.
You're a human archetype. Just as a psychologist, I see through you guys. So
I got it. Next time we'll have another show. I'll bring my wife on because she's a piece of work.
Yeah,
and we'll give you all our birthdays, and Perry will give your husband's birthday, and then we'll do that.
So much fun.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay. All right. So long, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.
I love you guys.
Bye.
Love you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Love you.